guys, it's time for another Friday night edition of Sundrop Roman the County pregame show. I'm post sports writer Ryan Bassesi here, hosting tonight from Carson High School. Carson's taking on West Oct. The Cougars are 0-7 against West in their short history. They're having their first home game tonight, though, so there's a buzz around for that. Parking lot's full, stands are filling up. We're going to talk to West Oct coach Scott Young. We're going to talk to Carson coach Joe Pinion. So let's go find those guys. All right, we're here with Carson coach Joe Pinion. Joe, just your thoughts coming into this one. Your first home game, and West Oct's always a stout opponent.
Well, you know, it's always fun to play against one of the class teams in the state. I mean, they've had all the success, and it's a challenge for your program. The thing we're most excited about right now is being able to play at home. I mean, after all these games on the road, I just hope we play well in front of the home crowd so they come back the next week. But, you know, we're going to get after them, give them our best shot, and see what happens from there.
Was it nice not to have to drive the bus tonight?
Well, we actually had to drive the bus to pregame meal, so we're not getting out of the handle of there. We're trying to remember how to do those things, but you know, we got some churches that are taking care of our kids, and that's really good. First United Methodist took care of us today, and that's really good for our program and good for our community to have people like that step in. So, you know, we haven't given up bus trips yet, but it's always good to stay down there in the locker room a little bit longer and not have to hurry to get somewhere.
West Oct has always been so tough against the run as far as their run defense. How do you attack them from an offensive standpoint?
Well, you really hope that a sniper takes some of those defensive linemen and linebackers out, and then you got a chance to run against them. Their secondary players are really, really good this year, I think. They're a little step down from what they had up front, but a step down up front is most of our superstars. So, you know, it's going to be a challenge. We got a few tricks up our sleeve, and we'll try our best and see what happens. And, you know, I think we can get them if we play hard and don't make mistakes.
If you could assess your team, I guess, from the start of the year to this point of the year, five games in, how do you feel?
Well, the whole process, and we've done this at other places too, is you got to take baby steps. You got to keep getting better. And if you go back to week 1 and 2, we had 6 turnovers in both of those games, and we've gotten better and better each week. We've eliminated turnovers. We're not moving the ball on offense as well as I'd like to, but our defense is playing really, really well. So hopefully we can start to improve a little more on offense, and then we'll be where we need to be.
Thanks, Coach. And now we're here with West Oct coach Scott Young. Scott, I understand you've got some offensive guys out tonight. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we were missing Chris Hazard, one of our best offensive linemen, senior leader, college prospect. He dislocated his toe last week, so he's a no-go for tonight, didn't even make the trip. We're hopeful he can return next week. But we have 2 starting receivers, Devin Parks, Chris Patterson. They left campus without signing out to go get lunch, and they're suspended today. So that's 3 offensive starters. So we're going into this game against a hot team right now, won their last 2 games coming from behind without 3 offensive starters, so there is some concerns.
You guys have always been really tough against the run. Your run defense has always been pretty stout. How are you able to do that year in and year out? I guess it's effective against teams like the Joe Pinion-led teams of Salisbury and now Carson.
Well, we preach it, and this year we're actually a little bit worse statistically than we have been in quite some time against run defense. But here the last few games, we've been doing a nice job against the run. So I hope we can get that running attack slowed down some tonight.
And you guys are always a factor at the state level. You dropped the first game to Mooresville. Maybe that kind of made some people write you off a little bit. But you've won 4 straight. I guess you got to be happy with how things have gone since then.
You don't ever want to lose one, so you can't be quite satisfied with 4-1. But you got to be able to be a professional and understand that you had some injuries. We lost Deshaun there in the first quarter. We were probably a little bit out of shape, in my opinion. You know, Mooresville's a 4A talented club. I believe they're 4-1 also. And to be honest with you, we're down 28-21 and driving on their 31-yard line with about 2:40 left. So we had a chance to tie that game up with all those circumstances. So I'm pretty happy with our overall effort. We just got to continue to get better. We can't worry about making noise on the state level till we take care of business locally and in our conference. So that's what we're trying to do, get better and play one game at a time.
Your thoughts on tonight's game, the keys, and what things that fans should look for tonight?
Well, with what they do offensively, they'll run some options, so you got to play assignment football. Then they'll run the power game out of the wishbone, so you got to be able to match their physicality. Then, last but not least, they'll try to get numbers on you to the edge and run their tall sweeps out of different formations. So you got to be able to run and use your athleticism. So the defense has got to shut down those three components, and then offense, we just got to do what we've been doing.
Every week becomes a chance to be a conference champion. We talked all week, be physical. I can't tell you enough how important it is to be physical in this football game. You've got to be physical tonight, man. You can't back down when things don't go right, and just because they bring a little fight doesn't mean you got to tone it down a little bit. You got to fight back. You got to be physical. You can't overreact. Every play's not going to be great. There are going to be some mistakes along the way, because that's what happens when two good teams get together. Somebody's going to be making mistakes, and it's not the mistakes, man, that cost the game. It's how you react to those mistakes. We can't overreact. We can't panic. Don't hit the panic button. Don't flinch. If you don't get anything else out of what I'm telling you right now, don't you flinch. Play the game every snap and expect success. At East Rowan, we came down in the second half, we expected to win. Expect success in this game. Expect success on every play. And if we don't get it, don't overreact, get physical and go back in there. This is great. How you fight is how you'll be remembered. If you fight after the whistle, you're going to be ejected and you're going to be out of the game. That's how you'll be remembered. If you fight between the whistles and you win the fight, you're going to be remembered for that. If you fight as a team and we go win this football game, you're going to be remembered for that. And there's going to be a lot of people remember that. You're the underdog. No big deal. People have been underdogs before. I was joking around with the preacher pregame meal today. Guys, David was a 40-point underdog to Goliath, and he whipped him with one rock. That's no big deal. I don't worry about underdogs. Take the fight to them. You'll be remembered for this fight. It's a legal fight, and you're going to be remembered for how you perform this fight. The day's going to come. Don't know when it's going to be. But the day will come when the courage of Cougar football players will be tested. Your courage in a fight like this one will be tested one day. My God, men, today's not that day. Don't let them test your soul today. Go out there and fight with everything you got. Like the preacher said today, play like you're never going to get to play again tomorrow. Play with everything you got. Your courage might get tested, but it can't fail tonight. It can't fail in front of the home crowd. It can't fail against his opponent. It can't fail for your teammates. We got to fight to the end. If we fight to the end, we got a chance. Something goes bad, don't give up. Fight harder. We can win this football game. We can win it, men. Courage of man may fail, but not tonight. Not tonight, my God. I'm not going to let it happen tonight. And I need for you to feel that way. You need to tell your teammate, not tonight. Not tonight! Let's get this done. Let's go!
All right, thanks to Joe and Scott for taking some time out to talk to us. West is 7-0 in its history against Carson. And Scott Young has always beaten Joe Pinion. I don't think Pinion's ever beaten Young, which is unusual for two coaches who I think are among the county's greatest in their history. But for West, Deshaun Reddick and quarterback Harrison Bachman are playing at a high level. And for Carson, Austin McNeil's leading the offense at quarterback, and Brandon Sloop is a guy you got to look out for. So we're hoping for a good game here at Carson. Around the county, it's another busy night. East Rowan has lost a couple straight. They're in dire need of a win tonight at Hickory Ridge, so we hope the Mustangs can get that. South Rowan's still looking for its first win. They're hosting Cox Mill. Salisbury's at Southeast Guilford looking for its first win. A.L. Brown is at Vance in Charlotte, and Davie County is at North Davidson. That's a tough one for the War Eagles. And that'll do it for the Sundrop Rome of the County pregame show. As always, remember to drink Sundrop. Buy it, drink it, love it.